Ah, look at him, the Belgian Matt Hancock lookalike, and his cat-sized nondescript dog. Look how he evokes memories of visiting secondary school libraries and how he used to teach you French via stealth, the bequiffed Schweinhund. That's German. Oops. Who knew that dogs didn't say woof woof in France, but instead they said ooah ooah? Those French dogs. Crazy things. So Tintin then, who is he? He is the star of The Adventures of Tintin by one Georges Prosper Remy, otherwise known as Hergé. Published from 1929 till 1976, Tintin is a Belgian reporter come adventurer who gets involved in a whole string of varied escapades that don't often see him actually doing a great deal of journalism. Sometimes he's doing something that's probably historically racist, and other times he's hanging around with a boozy old seaman called Captain Haddock. Tintin is an absolutely tiresome type, in all honesty, always perky and always a do-gooder, the kind of irksome git who you'd avoid at parties.
Casse-toi de ma fête, Tintin, espèce de petite sainte nitouche ennuyeuse, et prends ton vieux marin poivreau qui te sert d'ami avec toi, gros chelou.
One of those adventures was Destination Moon, the 16th collection of comic strips upon which this game is based. In it, he goes to the moon. Wow, clever. Twice, Tintin has swaggered onto your telly box. In 1957, 10 of Hergé's Tintin adventures were adapted for television by Bell Vision Studios across 103 episodes. In 1991, The Adventures of Tintin was released, closely following the storyline of 21 of Tintin's books, including the two lunar adventures, Destination Moon and Explorers on the Moon. Wow, that's this game we're talking about right now. What we don't talk about, though, is Steven Spielberg's realistic animation adaptation from 2011, because the uncanny valley nature of that movie is the sort of imagery that burrows deep into your psyche and constantly squeezes night terror turds into your cranium and leaves you sweating and screaming at 2 a.m. And it isn't about Tintin going to the moon so it can go and lick Snowy's pulsing balloon knot, for all I care. Tintin to the Moon is a computer game released by French software house Infogrames. It was coded by Probe Entertainment, so expect more colours than the vomit of a child that has consumed 37 packets of Skittles. Tintin was released across the main formats over multiple years from 1987 to 1989 because those French guys, they'll get them out when they get them out. They're too busy having affairs and filling up ashtrays and films and having hairy armpits. The storyline is this: Tintin is kicking Neil Armstrong off his rightful place in the history books by being the first man on the moon. There's a bit of a shortage of astronauts apparently, as he's accompanied by his dog, the alcoholic best mate Captain Haddock, Professor Calculus, and a shady fellow called Boris who plans to ruin everything to get his own way. That's unusual for someone called Boris, isn't it? The game starts out with you in control of a spaceship hurtling through a bit of a terrifying meteor storm. Quite where these asteroids have come from, I'm not sure if someone's moved the asteroid belt or someone has blown up Kreutznay, a sort of pet baby moon asteroid. Did you know about that? If you did, I bet it was from QI. It's a simple into the screen affair with crisp controls, with you barreling through this geology scattered perilous zone, dodging green stones and zipping through red and yellow spheres. The yellow balls replenish your energy ticker, whilst collecting 8 red spheres will take you to the next level. It's typical Probe software stuff, this. Short, colourful, uncomplicated, but with about as much substance as a ghost's queef. The second part of the game sees the Belgian having a right old time. Old Boris is being destructive, causing all kinds of trouble for everyone around him. He's breaking stuff and causing hassle that will ultimately result in everyone's lives being ruined for his own selfish needs. That doesn't sound like something that someone with the nice friendly sounding name of Boris would do, does it? He's planted bombs all over the spaceship, started fires all over the place, and will tie up anyone who runs past him. He's being unreasonable, frankly. I mean, you're in space, son. If the ship blows up, you can't exactly get out and walk home. You big old Wally. You, as Tintin, must run around the ship, spraying your trusty fire extinguisher, putting out the little fires, and using it to pollute Boris's lungs to make him pass out. I would imagine oxygen is generally at a premium, so these devil-may-care extinguisher sprays and fires going off everywhere are going to be quite costly to poor old Captain Haddock's lungs, as I'm sure he enjoys the feeling of air entering and exiting him and his chest moving up and down. Will you two boys just sort out your problems with a nice game of chess or Kaplunk or, I don't know, Scrabble or, I don't know, smack penises together or something? These sections are simple platform affairs which control sharply and again are nicely coloured environments with a bit of a Dan Dare vibe but not quite as good. Only Boris suddenly dashing into your path will cause any issues for you, as it's almost as straightforward as the spaceship sections. Once you've put a stop to Boris's nonsense, it's back to controlling that spaceship through more bouldery bother, and so it repeats each section sequentially until you arrive at your orbiting spheroid destination. Roughly, it's about 5 or 6 times you'll be playing each of these sections, and that's it really. The game is short and punchy, with the two modes alternating, being that of steering the spaceship and then putting a stop to Boris's nonsense. That's all the game is. But thinking about this, okay, once is bad, 2 times is pretty terrible, and the 3rd time I'd be getting sick of this fella trying to kill me and trying to stop the next stage of exploration's nascent progress, this time into space, and I'd be throwing him into space. He's clearly not to be trusted. That's a surprise for someone called Boris, isn't it? Someone who can't be trusted. It's a good use of the license, but honestly it needed a lot more meat on its bones, or should have had been a budget title from its launch, really. I think that's probably the right way it should have gone. It's nice to look at, it's nice to play, but it's all over too quickly. Tintin out for me. Crash gave it a 64% in their issue 73, summarising that it's a simple collect 'em up that may appeal to Hergé fans for its looks and its nostalgia. Yours Sinclair awarded it an 80% and declared it as a lovingly crafted arcade adventure that's both playable and addictive. It suffers from smallness of game size and a lack of difficulty. Sinclair User nestled itself neatly in between with its 78% score and hailed it as a jolly multi-level arcade effort with just a touch of garlic. Shall we stay in the French language section of the school library for the next episode and look at more comics? Oui, it's time for Asterix. Like, subscribe, and Kate thanks, bye.